Are you concerned about the sort of material that kids are being taught in schools now?
Oh, I am, absolutely. I mean, you hear stories of parents whose children come home and they've been taught really graphic things about sex that is not age appropriate.
Yeah.
And they've had to fight. They've really had to fight to find out exactly what was in those lesson plans, which I think is shocking, how you could cross those sorts of boundaries where you're not allowing parents to take care of their children. For me, that was something when my child started reception, I really looked into the PHSE because I know that you have to make sure that they weren't being taught inappropriate things.
And parents who, like I had very liberal parents. I wasn't shocked by anything I was told at school, and I think most of my friends wouldn't have been as well. But there used to be a battle in my day. I feel like I should get that in every show at 55. In my day, there was a battle where parents who were religious, basically their solution was just basically don't talk about sex, don't lose your virginity, no sex before marriage, and things like that. Well, that's not the reality for most people now.
Yeah.
Maybe for some people, not for most. In which case, those parents who don't talk to their kids about these things, the schools basically take on that role, and that's a really good way of making sure kids know about things like contraception and what is a healthy relationship, sexually, physically, or emotionally. But now it's expanded way more than that. And I remember at my daughter's school, which has been gloriously sane on a lot of this stuff, otherwise we'd have left. But conversations about what is healthy, what is not, conversations about sexuality as well. That now, we had Section 28, the ban on teachers telling pupils about, being gay. Look, it is undoubtedly the fact that people are gay. And people, it's a very small percentage of the population. It's much more than most people think. The census is very clear on this. But now it's about trans. I draw the line between, I'm very happy. I've always spoken to my daughter and her friends about, if you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, made it very clear from the friends we visit us that, of course, this would never be an issue. You can be open about it. But the trans issue, again, friends who've got teenagers going through this right now, telling children from nursery upwards, well, you may be born in the wrong body and that there are 84 genders or whatever there are this week and not 2. I'm sorry, no, I don't want my child taught that nonsense.
It's completely age inappropriate, and it's highly contested as well in the medical community. I mean, the scientific basis of a lot of this, the biological illiteracy of it. I mean, there's a big difference, like you were saying, at school when there were teachers about things that maybe our parents hadn't spoken to us about. I mean, I remember when I was around the age of when, women go through puberty, we had a nurse come in and teach us things. It was amazing.
We sniggered a lot.
She was actually brilliant. You know what? She was really down to earth, and she taught us things that we probably didn't know. I mean, I did a lot of my schooling in South Africa, so I don't know. It's a more conservative society. So, we didn't really have sex ed and stuff like that. If we had, it would have been a big joke. I can tell you. I mean, no one would have sat there listening.
But now they're talking about, I'm being very careful what we say, but sexual practices which perhaps most parents won't expect their children to be taught. Is there an argument, though, I mean, when it comes to sexual practices, that kids are seeing this stuff on the phones, on the internet. Every parent I know is like, well, not my child. Yeah, your child. Oh, not my daughter. Yeah, your daughter. And anyway, even if your daughter isn't seeing it, if she's dating boys, the boys she's dating, they're seeing it and their expectations. And one of the things I raised certainly at my daughter's school about the education for the girls going into 12 onwards was being taught about, again, healthy physical relationships. And no, that didn't involve being slapped or spat on or having someone put their hands around your throat or pulling your hair, and that girls need to be told that's not normal.
I totally agree. One of the most valuable conversations I had with my mother, I was about 13, 14 years old, she said, say no. No, it was all about boundaries, and it served me so well. Those are the sorts of conversations that you need to have with your children about setting boundaries. Whereas I think a lot of what this does, it's about breaking down children's boundaries. And I think that's wrong.